What is going on, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global here, back with another video, and the New England Patriots are continuing to make signings. I feel like at this point, the signings that they are making are pretty much depth pieces. You know, they've added very much big pieces towards the beginning of free agency, and I could see them making one more big splash, maybe one more big signing, depending on how free agency continues to go and players that continue to get released. They're still going to continue to add here, but I think at this point, you're mainly going to see depth pieces. You're not going to be seeing continuous starting caliber signings, and that's what you're getting here with the defensive tackle Montravius Adams, who the Patriots signed to a one-year deal. Now, this isn't a bad signing, but this isn't a signing that personally I'm going to look into. He's somebody that I could definitely see lasting through camp, but I just don't see him making the final roster. It is still much early to say exactly what's going to happen with him, but from my earlier on experience with him and just from my early predictions for him, I don't see him making the final roster, especially because I do see the Patriots still adding at defensive tackle. At least I do think it would be smart of them to still add at defensive tackle, whether that's bringing back Danny Shelton or adding in Akeem Hicks or whatnot. There's bodies out there that could definitely help bolster the defensive line, and this is definitely a good depth signing, but this does not bolster the Patriots' defensive line. Now, he's still very young, and he's very much in his prime. He mainly plays defensive tackle, but I have seen him play defensive end at times. He's 25 years old, but by the start of the season, he will be 26. He's 6'4", 305 pounds. Not a bad height and build for a defensive tackle. And Belichick's given him $2.5 million for this one-year contract. So that was pretty surprising to me that he's getting such a large portion of money for the caliber that he's bringing. I definitely do not see Belichick keeping both Akeem, Spence, and Adams, so I think it's going to come down to just one of those guys if, both of them are, or if one of them is to make the roster, but I definitely don't see both of them. Now, a little bit here about Adams. He came off a 4-year career at Auburn College. He ended up getting called in the third round of the 2017 draft by the Green Bay Packers. They selected him 93rd overall. He started his professional career pretty slow, and he ended up suffering a stress fracture on his foot earlier on in training camp in his rookie year, which did force him to sit out the entire rookie season. He did fail to make up for that missed time completely, and he saw just limited action in just 7 games as a reserved option defensive tackle. Now, while Adams did go on to appear in 40 games over the next 3 seasons, he is that classic guy who never took on a prominent role and never took that leap forward. Of course, as a third-round pick, he had a good amount of things going for him, but he just could not make that transition into the NFL. He's someone for a defensive tackle, had a very intriguing athletic profile, which led him to be selected in the 3rd round by the Packers, but he failed to exceed the 20% playing time shared that he had in 2017, and in total, he finished his Packers tenure with just 595 defensive snaps, and rather unspectacular statistical numbers that he was putting up. He did force and recover a fumble in each of those seasons, but he did only notch 1.5 sacks while failing to string up together positive plays. A season-ending toe injury also made him miss most of this past season, this past November, but that also pretty much sealed his fate with the Green Bay Packers. Now, obviously, his career has been just with the Green Bay Packers. Maybe you can try to say that it's just the scheme fit and that maybe he could go somewhere better like New England. Maybe it'd be a better scheme fit for him. Maybe the Patriots coaching staff could get more out of him. But injuries have very much also plagued this man's career. And when he was able to get on the field, he just wasn't doing much. I don't see him going to the Patriots and them getting too much more out of him. Maybe he can be a little bit of a better player. Maybe they can get a little bit more out of his athletic ability, but I do not see him being a player that ends up making this big impact for the Patriots. I don't see him being a Danny Shelton. I don't see him being a Lawrence guy. and really his main purpose is going to be to stop the run. I kind of put him at a caliber of a Byron Cowart. His role on the Patriots I would expect to be pretty basic if he was to make the final roster. He would be with the Patriots on early downs, help stop the run, help fill gaps mostly, and let the Patriots' elite linebacker core that they've gathered together this offseason really help make the plays. But again, if you are looking at the Patriots' current depth chart, they have Devon Godshaw, who they just added, Dietrich Wise, although he is listed as a defensive end, plays a lot of defensive tackle, and he bulked up, so he is now also mostly an interior defensive lineman. You also have Henry Anderson, Byron Cowart. They still have Akeem Spence. And like I mentioned earlier, I would still expect them to add an actual veteran body in the middle of that defensive line, whether that's bringing back Lawrence Guy or a Danny Shelton or another veteran. All in all, though, it's depth. If the Patriots are able to get some type of offseason training camp OTAs, we'll have to see how that goes. We'll have to see if he's able to make a better transition with the Patriots, but definitely not someone who I'm holding my breath on, and I definitely think that they could get a much better upgrade than Adams for sure. Before we do end this one off, I want to talk about the sponsors of this video, BetOnline. Now, BetOnline has the fastest and the easiest ways to bet on all of your sports action. Football might be over, but NBA, college basketball, and the NHL are still a full swing. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV, along with having real-time updated odds and props on almost anything that you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all of the news, scores, and odds, and it is the best way to place your bets, and it's completely free to sign up. All you guys got to do is head to the website or use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That is BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in with the action, and do not forget to use that promo code CLNS50 to receive 50% off on your first welcome bonus on that first deposit. Guys, the Patriots have added some depth along the defensive line. What are your guys' thoughts on this signing? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up, along with subscribing to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, I do appreciate you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.